An 18-year-old casually kicks a stray football into the clouds and accidentally strikes the wife of a thunder god. It is an absurd premise, but we are going to use this simple 13-scene anime storyboard to deconstruct exactly how writers aggressively escalate stakes and tension. Notice how this sequence begins. The wind is calm. The streetlights flicker softly. A slim teenager is standing completely alone. You cannot deliver an effective, world-shaking explosion unless you first establish total silence. That mundane quiet creates the necessary baseline for everything that follows. Then the sky violently shifts to dark blue and purple. From those swirling clouds, a gigantic, muscular deity in electric armor makes his entrance. The conflict is instantly defined by extreme contrast. On one side, you have an ordinary, powerless kid. On the other, a divine authority demanding answers. This massive, insurmountable power disparity forces the immediate question of how a mortal could possibly survive against something that controls the sky. When the god asks if the ball is his, the boy doesn't strike a heroic pose. He does what any deeply intimidated teenager would do. He nervously lies and says he didn't throw it. But the deity is omniscient. He smirks, knowing the truth, and raises his hand to summon a massive bolt of lightning as punishment. The sequence immediately drops us into absolute fear. The boy barely dodges the strike and runs in a total panic as debris flies and thunder crashes around him. Amid the debris of the chase, he spots an anomaly on the cracked asphalt, a strange, glowing purple syringe. Grabbing it marks a sharp psychological shift. The protagonist goes from a fleeing, helpless victim to a desperate risk-taker, choosing to inject an unknown substance directly into his arm. Introducing this kind of high-risk artificial tool shifts the narrative agency back to the underdog. They finally have a way to participate in the fight. Visually, the storyboard translates this power-up by completely abandoning the grounded aesthetic and introducing a harsh neon color palette. Suddenly, purple energy and glowing veins violently overtake the boy's expanding muscles as electricity and flames surround him. The action speeds up. The sequence relies on fast motion cuts and dynamic camera angles to convey the heavy impact and sheer speed of the ensuing battle. This chart shows the shifting power dynamics across the sequence. The boy's power line remains completely flat across the x-axis until scene 9, where his artificial strength suddenly spikes to intersect with the thunder god's steady, high baseline. But here is the deliberate subversion. The epic visual transformation doesn't secure an easy win. The boy is ultimately overpowered and heavily injured. The visual representation of this defeat is stark. The thunder god pins the battered teenager down and presses a glowing blade directly against his neck. Allowing the newly empowered protagonist to lose that clash proves that raw power isn't enough to secure a victory. It keeps the stakes authentically high. As we reach the brutal climax, the boy doesn't conjure some final magical energy blast to save himself. Instead, in a sudden, desperate move, he grabs that same empty syringe and thrusts it violently upward, stabbing the god directly in the eye. This specific action subverts standard anime tropes. The hero relies on dirty, gritty survival tactics to escape, rather than an overpowered magic system. Following the god's scream and retreat, the sequence provides a necessary visual come-down. The storm clouds dissipate, and the chaotic purple energy slowly fades from the boy's body. The storyboard ends on a tight cinematic close-up of the boy's face. His eyes are determined, marking a complete evolution from the fearful kid on the quiet street. Compressing extreme vulnerability, rapid visual shifts, and desperate choices into 13 scenes creates a sequence where the pressure never stops mounting. The most compelling victories in action design are not born from this sudden acquisition of godlike strength. They come from the raw human instinct to survive.